Guys, so we were walking around looking for birds' nests in our trees, which we did find, and we'll show you that in another video. But I happened to find this. That is not a bird's nest. Anybody know what it is? It's a paper wasp nest. Now, we watched it for a little bit to make sure no bees were coming and going. Also, we could see light through it because the whole backside is missing. So what we're going to do is chop the branch down that it's on so we can get it out here and kind of explore it. So you can watch as I get it down. Now, if you ever see one of these, don't just tear it down. Don't touch it. Don't poke it with a stick because you don't know.
I think it's attached to the next branch down.
Yeah, it is. So don't ever go about that on your own. Always get a grown-up. All right, well, I tore part of it off. So here's the part I got, but let's look up here so you can see the part that's still stuck up there. See how many branches it included? It included this branch and that branch. So there's some of it. And it really is thin like paper. And what I believe they do is I think they take little pieces of wood, chew it up into like a paste, and make this. So this is kind of like a bee spit wad, so to speak.
And that's basically how paper is made.
Right.
It's basically trees.
And they shred it down into a pulp, and then they flatten it out and dehydrate it. So let's take this baby apart and see what we find. You notice the top looks a little different than the sides. Turn back to the top. It's just more like patchy, whereas the sides kind of go in rows. Now here's the back side that was already split open. So if you can kind of see in there how the layers are, it's almost like your house. You've got the basement, the main floor, the upstairs. And these little cells are where they would put the eggs for the developing bees. Now, this kind of wasp, I don't think any kind of wasp, makes honey. It does not make honey. Oh, there's some dead ones in here. Ooh, it is kind of sticky though. So there's some dead ones in there so you can see what kind it was. These are bold-faced hornets. So they probably, something happened, a branch fell or something, which tore the side open and exposed them to the cold this winter, and they died. So here's what they look like. Now sometimes they can just be cold stunned, but these ones, it's warm enough out. They would be moving. But that's what they look like. There's two of them curled up. And they're dead. So there's some kind of bold-faced hornet, paper wasp type something or other. I'm not a bee expert. I have honeybees. I'm not even a honeybee expert, but and this stuff in between, I'm gonna guess is poop. Don't know for sure, but that's my guess.
I didn't know bees did poop.
Well, and you see all the different layers here to keep them warm. And this would be where the queen would put the eggs. Now the queen may have survived
And moved somewhere else.
Correct. Or she may have perished, and maybe one of these are her, although they don't look like it. They all look to be about the same size.
And is right here where they would have expanded?
Yes, see how these are large and this is small? They would have kept expanding this further and further out, and then they would attach another layer, and it would get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Looks kind of like an eyeball, since this part's a different color, and then...
And often, well, these are probably bees that were developing that perished because of the cold or the moisture. And then here's another layer, which those may have been eggs or larvae. I don't really know. And we'll take this layer off. It's hard. It's not as papery thin as this part is. This is much firmer. And I have to believe the strength comes from all these little cells together.
Yeah, I can't break it with one hand.
Yeah, if you want to look down in there, this is how they just kind of attach it. And you have to pull the pieces apart there.
It's like an accordion in my hand. Like I can't pull it apart, but I can push it together. What's
Cool.
that little white piece?
This?
Yeah.
That's the cell. I mean, that's
Really?
like a single cell of what all these little things are. The female queen lays her egg in there, and then the egg hatches into a larva. And then they feed the larva, and then it turns into a pupa, which is when they cover the top so it can transform into a bee. So something that looks like that. And then it crawls out. So pretty crazy. I'm not really discovering anything new. It's interesting how they stuck it right to this stick here, this branch. I'm going to kind of rip that and see.
Great, now your hand's going to be all sappy because kind of
Yeah, that's probably why my hand was sticky from the sap.
it's
So here's yet another layer on the side that you can see. This is the layer we're pulling off. Here's a layer. Here's yet another layer.
Oh, I finally broke it.
I don't know if you can kind of pull that, film that in there. How many different layers. And they just keep expanding. Can you get that down in there to see? It's almost like little different rooms within. It's interesting. And that's pretty much all there is to it. I mean, just these little layers.
It's definitely more cool with real bees.
I don't think so. Oh.
I mean, seeing what they do and stuff.
Oh, watching them, yes. But if you've ever wanted to see the inside, that's what it is. It's just a whole bunch of layers of these.
And wouldn't the like cells be different colored, pretending? What's it called on different trees, depending on the different kind of tree it is?
Well, they probably use the same
Yeah.
tree for the wood that they're chewing. I think it would all be about the same color.
Like if you had two of these and
well, you can see the different.
yeah, and one hive used, I don't know, birch, and another used like oak. Like, would the cells be different?
Well, I'm going to guess they probably have a certain type of tree that they all use that works better for them. But that could be what the different layers are on here. Some look more green, some are more brown, some are more gray, some are more white. I don't know. That I do not know.
You aren't the wasp expert.
I am not the wasp expert.
You're
But
the bee expert.
anyway, there you go. That was a pretty good sized hive there. And now it's torn apart. So, hope you enjoyed that. See ya.